Hello,
Hi, good to see you.
good to see you.
Thank you so much for joining us today for these short discussions. I know you for a long time, but perhaps our audience they have not really met you before. So perhaps you
Mhm.
can briefly introduce yourself and also your company, Alfa Laval.
Okay. My name is Jay Jeong. As you know, I'm a refinery process specialist in Alfa Laval in Sweden. I've been working in the refinery industry related topics from 2017, but I've been working in the industry for more than 30, now already 32 years. It's a long history.
Yeah.
And Alfa Laval is a company located in Sweden, but we have the company had been built in 1883, so it's around 145 plus years company.
Mm.
It's a very old company specialized in heat transfer technology and separation technology and
Mm-hmm.
fluid handling technologies. And we serve the refining industry in heat transfer mainly
Mm-hmm.
with different products. Um,
Mm-hmm.
yeah, that's a short introduction.
Thank you very much. So, basically, Jay will be joining us at Asia Tech in October.
Mm,
So today we're going to have a very, I would say, casual conversations to
mm,
ask Jay a little bit on his perspective, what is going on in our industry today.
yeah.
So Jay, tell me, what are operators feeling the most pressures today in balancing efficiency, cost, and also decarbonization? And also decarbonizations in
Mm,
the industry,
mm.
especially in refining and petrochemical.
Yeah, yeah. So I've been telling this to the industry in various conferences. In my opinion, the first and the most important topic or the pressure the operators are getting is how can they stay competitive through improving their profitability. That is the
Mm-hmm.
first topic. So to improve the profitability, then you need to look at your OPEX. Of course, then majority, even though the majority of the OPEX is crude oil price, there still are big bunch which the operators can control, such as energy cost, maintenance
Mm-hmm.
cost, and so on. So, in my perspective, now even the refiners in those low cost energy countries like Middle East are looking into energy efficiency. So, how to improve the energy efficiency? By doing that, they can save their big energy cost. That will, in the end, also help them to decarbonize them. So,
Mm-hmm.
so that efficiency improvement, optimization, leading to profitability. That's one topic. And the next important topic is decarbonization. This
Mm-hmm.
pressure from the world, from the community, is getting stronger and stronger.
Mm-hmm.
Then to look at the decarbonization, then in our eyes, we have to look at scope one, scope two, scope three. For
Yeah.
scope three, we are talking about renewable fuels and so on. But for
Mm-hmm.
scope one, then it is your own emission. Then how can you reduce your emission? That is, okay, green hydrogen is one thing, but
Mm-hmm.
blue hydrogen, but in the process, it's all about energy optimization, how to reduce the emission by reducing your energy consumption. That is the topic I've been seeing and I've been talking to many people.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. You'll be talking something similar in the coming Asia Tech as well.
Of course, we will talk about the efficiency and improving the process stability, and also, yeah, those will be our topics.
Yeah, we are really looking forward to it.
Mm,
Yeah.
yeah.
And given the current geopolitical uncertainties, as we all know, and also
Mm,
the energy market's volatility,
mm,
how are you seeing priority shift for operators in the industry? I'm talking about refining and petrochemicals, of
mm,
course.
mm, mm. Now, the biggest, in my opinion, the biggest hurdle we are seeing, or the biggest impact we are seeing from the situation in the Gulf, is the security of crude oil supply. So that is bringing in too many refiners the opportunistic crude will be loaded to their crude units. That will cause series of side effects, I would say, such as if you have been handling like mild and light crude, but opportunistic crude, you don't know how heavy that will be, how sour they will be, and when they are loaded to your refinery, then it will also bring in like corrosion issue, fouling issue, and so on. So those needs to be well studied and prepared. In your facility and your equipment also needs to be prepared for those. So that is a big thing. And at the same time, many of the crackers are also suffering from lack of naphtha they can get. So that is another topic. So usually we say every country should have certain days worth of feedstock in stock, but in reality it is not, and it has been already also quite a long time since the situation has started. So the pressure onto the crackers, and that is also getting higher. But in refinery, it will be mainly how to secure their crude, and they are now looking for crudes here and there. And in the end, if this situation is finished or ended in most people are now talking a lot about the additional cost to pass the Hormuz, for example, and that will be an additional cost to the refineries. Then how can they absorb those costs, or will they hand that cost over to the consumers?
Right.
So in then it will be more onto, as I mentioned, how to optimize your OPEX. So the higher your energy intensity index, or the better the intensity index, you will have less and less impact from there. So there will be kind of some kind of differentiator between the highly efficient refiners and the refiners which still have challenges in optimizing the energy.
Right. Yeah. It is not an easy journey, I would say,
Oh,
especially,
no.
I think, especially for Asia markets context. So you think this will be even slower down the recovery of the market?
The thing here in the region, if you look at our Asian region, then there are certain countries or certain refiners who are focusing a lot on export market, but
Right.
many of them are focusing on domestic market. So the demand still will be there. So that, in my opinion, that will not really slow down the refining industry that much. I would say the impact of that will be quite limited to those refiners, because as long as they can secure the crude, they still have their market to sell. But the refiners who have been exporting good portion of their products to the market, then it can be a challenge, because there are many countries like the States, they have their own oil. So if they can have their own oil supply, then they still will have their products in the market. So they can, if they have some surplus, then they can export those to the markets where these export refiners had been focusing on. So that will be a challenge, in my opinion.
Thank you for that. And beyond headlines topics like digitalization, energy efficiency, where do you still see the biggest untapped opportunities for improving performance in existing assets? And how is Alfa Laval? And how is Alfa Laval contributing in this area?
So if you look at, this is linked to the big topic of profitability, improving profitability and staying competitive. So one thing we can think about is, okay, how can we reduce the furnace duty, for example, in the crude unit, or in the hydrotreater, or any process where you are burning fuels. Then you can think about, okay, how can I recover more energy? Then we can reduce the fuel consumption. That is one thing, but there's another thing which we can also think about is we can also improve the efficiency work of the reactors, for example, in the catalytic processes. For example, if it is like a CCR, reformer, or hydrotreater, then the reactor is operated at a certain pressure. And then if you can lower the pressure of the reactor at the same temperature, then many of the cases you will have better conversion rate. So we're improving the efficiency of the reactor by optimizing the pressure drop in the effluent side or feed side. This is also another thing which we are focusing in Alfa Laval. We try to help the customers by offering like Alfa Laval packing oxide exchanger or compound heat exchanger in those positions. Then we save the pressure drop in the effluent side and also the feed side. Then the reactor pressure can be lowered. That will improve the efficiency, and also in the end, the pump discharge pressure also will be reduced. They will improve the vaporization of the feed, especially in the like hydrotreater or a reformer. So those are another point. So optimizing the energy, recovering maximum energy, that's one thing. Then also optimizing the pressure in the process, that is also another thing. So this also can be applied to the topics which I have presented like 2 years ago in Asia Tech, the CD overhead condenser pressure optimization. Then the distillate column pressure also can be optimized. But these are all connected to the big topic of improving profitability in the refineries.
Yeah, I'm sure you'll share more in the coming Asia Tech.
Yes, of course.
So yeah, so we can't really we can't wait for it. So as Asia Tech brings together leaders from across the industry, what types of conversations or collaborations do you think are most critical right now to move the sector forward?
Okay, in my opinion, we've been telling the customers, okay, we are still trying to help the operators at the refineries and the licensors to improve, or from the beginning, if the process has been designed with this up-to-date or like optimized technologies and process designs, then as soon as you turn on the key, then you will have a much better efficiency and profitability.
Yeah, efficiency.
Yeah, correct. So the conversation, in my opinion, we need to have in this kind of forum is how can we improve this journey by having this kind of discussion in the very early stage of the process. For example, if a customer is considering something into such as like bringing in new hydrotreater or new process unit, any kind of new process unit, then this kind of energy efficiency process optimization needs to be discussed from the very early stage. I mean, even during the feasibility study. If in my eyes or in our eyes, the earlier the better, usually. So if this kind of discussion, okay, let's have some energy efficiency improvement. When the EPC contractor is doing the detailed engineering, it's definitely too late. Then we can save small, like some cooling water consumption and so on. That can be done. But if we really want to, as I mentioned, change the operating pressure of the reactor or maximize the energy efficiency, then this needs to be done at least in the early feed stage or even during the feasibility study stage. Then this kind of discussion can be held among the end customer and the licensor and also technology providers like Alfa Laval. Then we can do full optimization. This will be a key to save capex, of course, but also in the long run, it will improve the OPEX savings significantly. So then this kind of discussion can be handled. You cannot expect this kind of discussion happen at the like day-to-day discussion with the process engineers, but this needs to be led by like the leaders, the management of the end customer, and also the licensors and like big EPC contractors who will do the FEED also.
So you mentioned these discussions should start in the beginning, right? At
Yes.
the feasibility studies stage. Has this not been discussed in the old days, or it's only been introduced while we are into this energy transitions journey? Yeah.
I think it has been, how can I say, not that much a topic in old days. Because if you look at the refining industries, then I usually say there are three important pillars in refining industries. One is the end customer. The other one is the process licensor. The third one is the contractors who are building the plant. Then every different pillar has different KPIs, different focus. So for example, the end customer, okay, we want to have this project going on. So CapEx saving is very, very important. So the project budget management is the big topic of the project team of the end customer. While the licensor had been putting a lot of focus on how can we make sure that the product is meeting the specification. For example, if it is a new reformer, then okay, from the reformer we have to have reformate meeting all the specifications. So that was their focus. And the contractors, they have been always focusing on how can we optimize the cost in building the plant so that they can also get their fair share. So among this, saving OPEX had never been a big topic. But nowadays, more and more customers, even the licensors, are looking at how can they make the process more energy optimized. For example, if we build a new ADU nowadays compared to like old days, maybe the energy efficiency will be at least like 10, but in our eyes, we can improve the efficiency by around 20-25%. So that discussion has been going on for some years, not only a couple of years. But if we can make this happen from the very early stage of the project, then the impact will be significant.
See, wow. Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Thank you, Jace, for sharing your perspective and also your insights. So I really look forward to meeting you in Bangkok this October.
Yeah, me too. Yes.
Yeah. So I see you next time.
Okay.
Thank you.
Okay. Bye-bye. See you.